Hi there, I'm Cada and I'm CEO of Family Compass and co-founder. And today I'm here with my lovely co-founder Lucy, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about our journey and some of our experiences in terms of our traded income. So Family Compass is a mental health charity. We are based in Barnstaple in beautiful North Devon, founded in 2017, and our mission is to help children, young people and families to improve their mental health before they reach crisis point. We both had mental health challenges while we were growing up, and we wanted to kind of make that our mission to support other people so they could get the help that they needed. We provide creative therapies like art, drama, music, play, counselling, mentoring, and family-focused therapies like therapeutic life story work, TheraPlay, and DDP. And we have two main strands to the services that we provide. We have contracted services through the local authorities, schools, and post-adoption support. And then we also have a community offer, which is really important to us. And that provides 12 sessions of grant, donation, and fundraising funded support for children and families directly. So the referral comes direct from the families. We also now offer room hire in our new amazing building. Many thanks to our Enterprise Development Programme grant, which contributed to the refurbishment and renovation of this space. And we've been offering that in a limited capacity in our previous building, but now that's what we're really focusing on, trying to maximise our income through that. So yeah, that's a little bit about us, and we've got some questions that we're going to work our way through just to kind of give you a little bit of insight into our journey. So yeah, Lucy, over to you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Katie. That was great. Fantastic introduction. So the very first question is, why is trading income so important for us?
Yes, the big question. And it really is. I think the key thing for us is that it's unrestricted. So that means that we can be completely flexible in how we spend it. So we can ensure that it goes wherever it's most needed. And that might be as a buffer in the bank to support cash flow, or it might be for training when there's a training need identified for the team, for resources, or for direct support for families. But yeah, we actually get to decide. It's not dictated to us. So that's really important. We often find that grant funding that we receive for project costs covers exactly that, just the project costs. So we don't have that extra that helps us really build in quality to our service. So the extras for things like really good supervision or team well-being to make sure that the team feel really supported. It basically provides us really good stability. We know it's going to be coming in. Which is key to us providing a sustainable service and consistent support for families. The thing with room hire is that we're incurring the majority of the costs anyway. So actually, in order to kind of get that additional income, we're not having much really in terms of additional outlay. So for us, it's pretty much an easy win, I would say. And I think there's other benefits to room hire. So as well as the actual income, it brings in more people into our actual building. So we get to meet community partners that we wouldn't have met before. It raises our profile in the local community, gives us opportunities for fundraising. So yeah, it's just a really fantastic and relatively straightforward way for us to bring in that additional income. Okay, so I've got a question for you, Lucy. I actually really love this question. What would you say are our secret ingredients for keeping customers happy?
So I very much feel that everything we do is person-centered. So from our therapeutic services to our room hire to other things we do, it's always thinking about the needs of that person and working where we can towards that to support those needs. So it's kind of a very bespoke approach. And I think also, I suppose, you know, what our space offers is a really kind of warm, welcoming, friendly environment. There's always somebody to greet people on the door and to kind of make them feel at home, show them around and feel comfortable in the space as well. So that's kind of integral to what we do. I suppose how the space is decorated as well. People always are just really in admiration of how it's decorated. There's lots of pictures that have been drawn by children all over the place. There's bright objects which kind of encourage playfulness and curiosity. So I suppose the space is really inviting, not just for children, but for adults too. And I think our building offers such flexibility in terms of room hire. We have 4 individual rooms, which are really nice for the more one-to-one therapeutic work. And then we have a lovely, what we call the rainbow room, which is a big messy play area. So, you know, a small group room where we can literally make as much mess as we want. And that's fantastic. And then we've got a lovely big group room, which is a really lovely size, which is actually the platform of the train station, the old train station. And it looks out over the river, and it can be used for more corporate kind of training type events, or it can be just used as a lovely, playful group space as well. So we're really lucky in that. All of our rooms, just to say as well, they all have a small set of resources. There's toys in there that can be used. There's art and craft materials. We always kind of provide that and encourage people to hire the rooms that to use those materials. So I think overall, actually, and thinking about whether this is a new approach for Family Compass, and I would very much say, no, actually, this is integral to everything we do. We've always wanted to make our services and spaces as warm and welcoming as possible. So I feel like we're sticking to our core values and the heart of Family Compass, really. It's the essence of what we do. As our trading income has grown, what have been our biggest challenges?
Yeah, we have had a few. I think everybody has teething problems, don't they? And yeah, there's definitely been a few things that have been quite challenging for us. So we've had to kind of balance really whether or not to prioritise bookings for rooms from our own staff, so our own employees, versus external bookings. So that's been a bit of a balance. Obviously we want the income from external booking, but equally we want our team to be happy, and we need them to have the space, available to them when they need it. So that's been quite challenging. The booking system that we use is really just a calendar. It's Google Calendar, and some of our team are they have so many skills, but possibly IT for some of them isn't one of them. So actually making sure that we don't double book rooms has been quite challenging, working out a kind of process for people to follow, and making sure that that's kind of communicated to them. That's been really important. Working out of hours. So one of the things that we realised was that a lot of people want sessions after school. So that's external and our own staff as well. So making sure that we have duty cover within the space, so that there's always somebody, a friendly face there on reception to welcome people and greet clients when they arrive. Really important, but obviously that means making sure having a duty rota, which is actually quite complicated. Sounds really simple, but is actually quite complicated. And it means people working till kind of 7 in the evening. That's and potentially weekends as well. The noise, thinking about noise, a lot of our therapies involve a lot of noise. We've got a music therapist, there's a drumming, there's a lot of talking. Got to be really aware of that, and considerate of other people. And that's not just us as staff and our team, but also the children that come into the space. So helping them kind of respect those kind of boundaries and be kind of considerate of other people. So that's been quite challenging. So Lucy, next question is for you, an interesting one. Since we started generating trading income, what do you think have been our most important mistakes that we've learned from?
Absolutely. It's really interesting, isn't it? The kind of word mistakes, because I think actually we have learned along the way, and I wouldn't perhaps call some of these things mistakes, but I would say actually we've learned how to do things differently, perhaps.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the main one was actually coming from our last premises. We've learned a lot about having a premises from our smaller premises that we had before, which was in a very different area. It's in central Barnstaple. There was a lot of noise. There was a bus stop outside. There was quite often antisocial behaviour that kind of would happen right outside the office. It was quite a cluttered environment because we didn't have any storage. There just wasn't enough space there. So kind of actually in terms of it being a calm, therapeutic environment for young people to come and have sessions, it perhaps wasn't the best environment. And we were very aware of that. And that was why we kind of were so mindful that we needed to find a better, more suitable space, which is exactly what we've managed to achieve. And I think in the current location, it is a very different, like I was saying earlier, we've got an amazing view of the river. There's we've got a green space around us. Actually, it's in residential, residential area. So we're kind of friendly with the neighbours. We've actually upped our security system, obviously, because we've got a bigger building, so that feels much safer now. So we have a keypad coming in and out. We have like a big, a good alarm system and things like that. So just generally, the building feels calmer, safer, all round better. Another kind of big thing that we've, in terms of mistakes is not about this, but in other projects that we've done, we haven't marketed them enough. And we are so mindful that in order to enable the room hire within our building to reach its potential, we need to market it in the right way. So that's very hot and high on our agenda at the moment in terms of how we're going to do that. And I think we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. Other mistakes that we need to learn, that we've kind of learned from, is how long these things take to happen, how long these take, the amount of hours that actually goes into getting things up and running and doing things. Ensuring that we have the right systems in place before we make things go live. We've kind of learned from that. And also around pricing, there's lots we've learned around pricing and making sure we're getting the right price for the room hire. And that, again, is an ongoing discussion and process. So, yeah, I think that's the main things.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so the next question, I suppose, for you, Katie, is where do we want our trading income to be in 2 years' time?
Yes, so at the moment it is early days for us, but already the income that we're receiving from room hire is contributing to our rent and our overheads. So ideally, in 2 years' time, we want it to be paying for all these costs. So we want it to be paying completely for the rent and the utilities, and then to start contributing to a surplus, which we can then, reinvest in whatever way we see fit. We've calculated that if we manage to book out half of the free sessions that we have, we should be able to bring in around £25,000 a year in additional income with very little additional outlay. So that's, for us, it's not obviously a huge amount, but actually in terms of consistent income, that makes a massive difference to us. And we're going to achieve that. So some of this Lucy's alluded to, the sort of learning processes that we've had over the past year or so. But we're going to develop an effective marketing plan. That is going to mean using particularly more social media, advertising in relevant places, thinking about the platforms that we're actually using to do that, because it may be that some of our skill sets and my skill set is not best suited to that. So how we're actually going to maximize that. Doing things like 3D camera tours so people can get a really good sense of the space and what it looks like, and hopefully be inspired and think, yeah, we want to be there, we want to be in that space.
Thanks, Katie. This has been a great chat today. It's been so useful to be able to reflect on this with you. Yeah, hopefully you found it helpful too.
I really did. Yeah, we don't often get the chance to do that, do we? It's been really lovely to talk about it and think about our journey. Thanks, Lucy.